Well, so this is Baruch here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I've been thinking about something we learned like a couple of days ago. It was about Slavchot, and then it turned out that in a delayed kind of way, I listened to Rabbi Mimran in last week's parsha, and he gave us the idea that Slavchot. He said that this was only the second week that we were keeping Shabbos. So what's pshat in Slavchot? What did he do? He was gathering a little bit of some sticks, and that's what the Torah says. And as a result of that, it was on Shabbos, of course, and then as a result of that, they took it to Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu had to talk to Hashem about it. Hashem told him that he had to be stoned. Now, stoning is really considered to be the most harsh manner of death that the Torah prescribes. So, I mean, what did the guy do? He picked up some sticks. What was he doing? So, just to make this long story short, what he was doing was he was taking a political position. The political position is like this. Well, you have Shabbos, and then you have business, or you have this or that, or whatever it is, or you have a girlfriend you want to talk to. So you pick up the telephone on Shabbos, or you do a little bit of business on Shabbos, but you still go to shul. Okay, that's Slavchot. That's what he tried to do. This, according to Rabbi Mimran, you could see it over here. He tried to take this. It actually became a plant. And some medrashim say there was actually a plant, and he planted this plant that he saw. They're trying to say you could mix Shabbos and weekday. That was what the Zohar was saying, that he got into the idea that you could make the holy day also a mixture of the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra. That's the stick that we were talking about. That you could have a little raw in there, whereas Shabbos in the Moed is very special. So think about the world that we live in today with reform and conservative, and so many people who would like to be more religious, but they can't find their way in. So that's all part of why the punishment was so strong for Slavchot. Now we're going to come over to Korach. So it's not enough that we had the story of Slavchot, who was someone who tried to bring, let's say, the evil of the weekdays, so to speak, portion of the weekdays, into Shabbos itself. So for that, there's a very severe violation, and look at the results of it as we see in our world now. So now we're coming to Korach. Korach is a bitter man. What happened is that he was upset. As you remember the story, he was upset because he thought that he should have gotten a promotion in the tribe of Levi that was given to one of his cousins. And when he thought that Moshe is doing everything arbitrarily, and he started off like that. Now the Zohar in other places says that the problem with Korach was not necessarily that he couldn't be mepakpek, or that is, argue about this, but that he lost his temper. He got really, really worked up on it. He really felt that he had been slighted in such a way, and then everything that came out of that was a result of not having anything to do with Moshe Rabbeinu, and we see the results. And we see other people. Why did people join in? Because they figured, well, if he could do it, I can do it, and therefore I can have the power. Therefore I will be the head, and I'll be the Kohen. Everybody will come to me, and who is Aaron anyway? Remember the golden calf? So anyway, that was their argument. The Zohar says that it was all done for selfish reasons. And so what we're coming to see is that Korach lost his temper, started doing all kinds of bad things, and caused the machlokas, which is the division. He separated. So we see that in the Torah, in the Zohar, and everything we see about it, is that unity is really the path to success. Not easy to do because we all are so different. Let's look a little bit more on this next one. V'yedaber el Korach ve'el kol adaso lemor. So now Moshe spoke to Korach and his crowd. It's a boker v'yodeach Hashem es asher lo. So when the morning comes, Hashem will make known what belongs to him. It belongs to him. Let's say v'shol on my boker. So why in the morning? Why didn't he do it right now? Lama docha es hadavar lemabachar beboker. So why do you have to do that? Va'od va'amai kadosh. So why does he use the word kadosh? Lama ksiv ve'es hakodosh ve'hikriv alav. So that which is kodesh. Below tahor. He didn't say tahor. He didn't say which is the pure one. V'lama lo kasev ve'es hatahor. Why didn't it just say the tahor? Why does it say the kadosh? What's kadosh? Umeshiv ela inen mesifta de talchor ka'asya. Ella, this is what he says. These, who are these? This tribe of Levi, the Leviim, boim mitzad the talchor. They come from the side of Tahor. And when they're inaugurated, I believe that what they did was they shaved, they had their whole body shaved, and they were waved by Moshe Rabbeinu. He says this is a concept of tahor. They're pure. Because they represent Gevurah. Remember that Gevurah again is din. Could be, if not sweetened, very punishing. So he says, and they, so let me go back. Gevurah, that is fire. And makes everything white. In other words, it cleans everything. It's clean. That's one of the things that Gevurah does. It removes. V'kadosh kahana. But when you come to the word kadosh, now you're talking about kohanim. V'hakohen hu kadosh. Kekohanim b'baha mitzad hachesed shemekabel l'shvos ha'kedusha mechachma shalom ala b'menu. Again, the kohanim, they come from the side of chesed. What's chesed? Chesed receives on the right line. The right line consists of chachma, chesed, and netzach. It receives from that chachma which is up above the kedusha machachma shalamala v'menashenikras kodesh, which is called kodesh. So Moshe says that Moshe says like this: the Adetz Korach. He says to the Korach and his crowd, Boker in the morning, Macher b'bocher, Machar b'mocher in the morning, tomorrow in the morning. The Geden Kisra the Kahana is Arba Alma, because he said this is a special time. Everybody knows this, apparently. Because we understand the Kohen is an agent of Chesed. So since the Kohen, the time for that is Misoreres Ba'olam, that's the time that it arouses, Chesed is aroused in the morning. So V'yashkem Avraham V'voker, which Avraham represents Chesed. And there, Avraham is the right line, called Chesed, the line of Chesed. And in the morning, B'boker, that he's represented by the morning. I atem kahanim, im atem boim lehios kahanim. If you, Korach, and all of these people, the 250 Nisian that we just learned about what they wanted, kohanim shehemach b'chesed. So if they actually belong in Chesed, why not? Pa boker. In the morning, because in the morning, which is the time of Chesed, Polku avodah the boker. Ivdach is avodah a Chesed, so they'll be able to do the avodah of Chesed. Shalokahana b'boker. So that's the time. They're all bringing their snuff pots, or what do they call the fire pans? That's it. They're all bringing their fire pans, and they're going to offer this before Hashem, and that offering is on the side of Chesed. And then you fulfill what's written for Yodea Hashem Haindoch B'tzadis Hatiferes, that Hashem Yudke Vavke amongst other things, and is manifest in Tiferes, in Zeranpin. V'Yodea Hashem Hainu Mitzad Tiferes Shebo Hashem Havaya, which is where you find the name Havaya manifest. Es Asher Lo, what that belongs to him. Es HaKodesh, and what is Kodesh? And Meforish, Es Asher Lo. So he says, what does he mean by belongs to him? Stam, he says it's a word that doesn't really below Shem Torah. It doesn't have any adjective to describe what is to him, what belongs to him. So the Zohar says Dal Levoy. This is referring to the Levium. So therefore, since the Gevurah, we say it in an abbreviated way. Gevurah always represents restrictions of some time. You're always restricting, or that's a good enough word. But the Kodesh refers to Kahana because the Kahana receives from the right line. Because they get in the line of Chachma. Chachma, Chesed, Netzach. That is the right line. Those are the three spheres of the right line. They have a connection. Shalom Alaba Mandashibach Shorish Kedusha, which is where Kedusha comes from. He says, Keden v'hikri v'lav haino as a kodesh, and then it'll brought forth this kodesh. V'lis man da'avchim milo. Ve'ein mi she'yavchim as hadavar bein chesed the gevura. So nobody will be able to distinguish between the two. Ella boker, only in the morning. That's when you could see, because it's a time of chesed. She'oz zman his order the chesed shebel shefach kedusha, because this is when you have the arousing of shefa, which is the arousing of kedusha. B'kach omer lachem. So there he says like this: Itechazyon ishta'ara b'star dino. Im atem ru'uyim lehasher b'tzad gevura k'shorsham. So speaking to these Levium now, and all the people that are demanding this, I guess he said in the previous shir that we had yesterday, he was talking about the Nesiim. The Nesiim want to be in charge of, are directly in control of Malchus. And to be able to do that, that Malchus is Gevuradik. So that's the lower Malchus, the lower Gevura. So he says Korach represents a higher Gevura. Im atem ru'uyim lahasher b'tzad Gevura. If you're fit to stay in the side of Gevura, k'shoroshchem, like your root. This is where you belong. Boker lo savel luhu. The morning will not be able to handle you. If you're a Gevura is the nighttime. Gevura starts after midday. It progresses through the night till midnight. So he says, "Chesed lo yisbo v'lo yikabel as avudasachem shemitzad the gevura." You will not be able to do this will not work for you. If you're going to be from the side of gevura, you can't offer this incense and think it's going to work. The whole love ziminehu b'shahare ein oz zmano shel gevura, because it's not the time of gevura. The gevura doesn't work early in the morning. Ella shel chesed. It's the time of chesed. So let's say like this, maybe it is, you're not looking right, but maybe it is that you are fit to be actually to remain in the side of chesed, to switch over. So all of this will come out in the morning. If you started out in Gevura, I guess Moshe is saying that you could switch yourself over. Perhaps you can, and maybe it'll be successful for you. And that means to say that you'll be able to stay in that situation, and that what you're doing, the service that you're bringing with this Ketores, with this incense, is going to work for you. So then it said, so what exactly will be the way that we'll be able to distinguish? So we're bringing incense. But why? We're offering the Ketores. Now this is an important idea in Ketores, so people want to know what's going on. We say Ketores every morning. What's going on over there? And if you divide in the Sfardi or Sfard, you may say it again in the afternoon. So he said, because the Ketores has a way to be able to bring out sparks of Kedusha, Shebetocha Kali, which is in the midst of the lies. And take out from them the life force that's in them and their Kedusha. And then take that out. That's what Ketores does, and offer it up, because whatever is Kadosh, which is down below, that comes up, will bring bracha back. So we have Mayim Nukfin, which is going upwards, and Mayim Duchrin, male waters that are going down, besode the Mochin the Ima, which is coming back in the Moch through the Mochin of Ima. Hanim Shachim the Hila the Chesed. So when the Mochin come in from Ima, the first place they go in the body of their Anpin is the Chesed. And Misham the Shara Spheros, and from there all the rest of the Spheros. So therefore we're saying this is how this Chesed works. But to make Torah Ketores work. Now let's understand again. He says the Ketores has the power to be able to pull lies, truth from lies. That's the power of Ketores. That once that truth goes upwards, it brings a tremendous bracha back down into the world. But the thing about this is that in order to offer the Ketores, as Zohar says, Hilahaktir Ketoret Sark Shoshvini Shalom Malchus, Malchus has to have, that is, the offering itself, the Ketoret, has to have an escort. This contract of Yada Bekula, in order to be able to offer it all up and be able to bind it all together, because she is control al Yado called Olamos, because the concept of Ketoris is also a concept of knots or tying things together. That's the idea of bringing the Kedusha back together, bringing the oneness back together in the midst of the darkness. Al Yado called Olamos Zuhi Segulaso. This is its special quality. The Chor Alamos, to tie the worlds together, Milamata Lamala, from down below, in other words, from the lowest possible worlds and the lowest possible places, you could be Lamala going upwards. And as a result of that, that's called Mayim Nukvin, the Lamala Lamata, and then bringing back Shefa Bracha from up above, down below. V'lias Kashra, and then tie it all together. So that's the whole idea. You unite. The word, the Ketoris, is lashon of uniting, of kesher, of tying. So he said the partzuvim zechab, so the yichud is making yichudim all up and down the line, which is the ultimate source of all bracha. V'omar, and he says like this: Man shoshvina. So tell me, who is this escort? Who shoshvina shalom malchus? This is the escort. I wrote the word sponsor in there. I think escort is better. This is the escort of malchus, the kahana, which means the kohen, who are kohen shebechesed, because the kohen is always in the chesed. The chesed has to go first. So we said, let the begin kach, and for this reason, the lekach omer Moshe. So Moshe said like that: v'choya ha'isha sheyivchar Hashem hu hakodesh. So the man that Hashem chooses, he'll be the one that's Kodesh, because he's beginning the Shefa on the right line, the line of Chesed. V'hainu ha'kohen, that is the Kohen. V'lo ha'tohor, but not the Tohor one. That's not, it's Chesed, it's Kodesh, but not Tohor. Tohor shu ha'levi. Trin dargin inun, shtei madregos heim. These are two different madregos. Heim Kodesh v'Tohor. Kohen Kodesh, Levi Tohor. Va'aldaha Kodesh Kesiv. So on this Kodesh Kesiv Shuha Kohen. It said the Kohen is the Kodesh. Hareki Lechein Bacher Hashem B'Kohanim. And this is the reason why the Shem chose the Kohanim. Shehem Kedoshim, which are Kedoshim. Va'al Yadam Ru'uyim avoided the Asos. And through them, because of this Kedusha, which once again he defines as a connection between themselves, the Kohanim, and Chochmah, the Chochmah law, which is the opening to the light, ultimate light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. They're able to be the escort of the offering that brings that. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kolel.